this big hotel on the left is one of the original hotels
Right here, the Baxter.
when Bozeman was
Down
started.
to on.
See this tall one, Hotel Baxter. This is the original.
Okay.
One of the. It's been around since the 1800s. So Montana did not become a state until 1879.
Mm-hmm.
It was only a territory, so it did not have full statehood until then. So there's a lot of photographs from that time, all black and white, and they show many of these, not this one, but many of these buildings as we get closer. In that time where you were staying, it was all just fields, right? There were more Indians there, you know. Montana thinks a lot about their past.
Okay.
They still think about the original explorers who came here, the settlers. Okay, so they were white people, a few black people, but mostly white people. After the Civil War, which was the war about slavery, many of the people from the South came here. There's significant numbers who were pro-slavery came here. And then, of course, when Abraham Lincoln said there were no more slaves in 1863, that changed. But
Just one other comment about downtown. So there are art galleries and restaurants and things, but there are also two of the old theaters from quite a long time ago. One of which both of which have been renovated. And if there's something of interest, it might be fun to go to that, because it's, that theater has been here for a long time.
1800s.
And was part of the main part of the downtown. So I think there are a lot of these buildings are historic buildings that are now kind of modern businesses, but they reflect the past a bit.
It was famous for the mud here, Hilo in Nepali. There was so much mud that on this main street that it was a problem, and so they had raised sidewalks so people didn't have to walk in the mud. But they said whole carts would get stuck, all the horses would get stuck on this main street. It was very wet. There is a creek, a small river that runs right under here, and actually you can't see. You can see it. Actually, the next block you can actually see the river, so you can still see the creek, but it's the main street. It's covered. But that is why it used to be so muddy here. On this Main Street area. This was the wealthy side on the south.
This one.
This is the poor side on the north, where we live actually. But the town part was poor. It is where they had a Chinese laundry, stables for horses,
Smaller houses.
some very small houses. This side has beautiful big houses. That side has small houses that were very close
Well, that's
together.
all changed now.
Now it's changed, but
Bozeman's become very, very expensive.
Bozeman is one of the most rapidly growing small towns in the United States. Because, why is it? Because it has things people want, and so the price for houses has gone up 40% every year for about the last 4 years.
Oh my God.
This is a terrible number. I mean, our
I
children.
think it must be similar to the way Kathmandu is. Kathmandu at one point was not so expensive, but now everything in Kathmandu is very expensive.
And so rent
I don't know about in Almaty or...
Due to the situation of Russia, the prices to rent
Just
and
gone up.
to sell of home also become more.
Makes it very difficult because you have, in the United States, we have a growing number of people who have way too much money, and then we have a lot of people who are working who barely get by, and so when these prices go up, it becomes very stressful for
everyone.
Working people. And in our country, we don't have a very good policy environment to make that inequity improve.
The inequity, right? The unequal, the rich and the poor. It's a really big
Ditch.
huge, a big gap between the two. And in Bozeman, that's why we have a homeless population. They have jobs, but they cannot find anywhere to rent. And it's probably, I would say the word crisis is correct.
Okay.
It is a crisis for this.
This way.
Okay, so this is the hospital. We're going up in the south. So Main Street is there. So this is south, moving to the south, and this is Bozeman Health. It's a hospital complex. We don't have a medical school here. Actually, we don't have one in Montana, right? Yeah, there is no medical school in the state. If people go to medical school, they go often to the University of Washington in Seattle, but there isn't one here. So this is not a teaching hospital.
It's a community hospital, right?
Say again?
Community hospital is this?
Is it a community hospital?
No, it's a basically a private
Private.
hospital.
Oh, I see.
So, you know, it would
Don't
be.
start talking about medical.